So Carl Urban has decided to do a remake of a foreign film under the same name, The Loft, instead of doing a sequel to his awesome Dread movie. Great idea, Carl! The Loft, directed by Eric Van Looy, the same guy who directed the original film Loft, starring Carl Urban, James Marsden, Wentworth Miller, Matthias Schoenaerts, and Eric Stonestreet. Now, basically, the plot of this movie is you got these 5 friends who are all married. One of them, played by Carl Urban, Vincent, is an architect, and he owns this building, has a private room which he calls the Loft. He has 5 keys to this loft. He gives 1 key to each of his friends, and he tells them that you can use this private room to take your mistresses to and do whatever you wish with them without your wives knowing. You can have sex with any woman you wish behind your wife's back, and no one will be the wiser. One day, one of the guys goes into the room and finds a dead woman in the bed, and since these 5 guys are the only guys with keys to the room, obviously one of them has murdered this woman, and they gotta find out who did it. And this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen for this year. Oh man! Of course it comes out in January. The dumping ground for terrible movies. Oh man, and this movie was garbage. Oh man. These guys are supposed to be our protagonists. We don't know which one is the real killer yet, but how are we supposed to sympathize with any of them when they are all such jerks? None of these characters are likable. Carl Urban's character is not likable. James Marsden's character, who's supposed to be the nice guy of the bunch, he's not really all that likable either. Neither is the fat guy played by Eric Stonestreet, or Wentworth Miller's character, or any of these guys, really. And their wives, the wives all look alike. You can really can't tell the difference between one wife versus the other. And you can tell the difference maybe a little bit, but not that much, really. And then the mistresses that they take to the Loft, they're so interchangeable. You might as well have gotten Megan Fox or some other sexy woman to play them. They're really so forgettable. This movie has no structure at all. You can't tell whether you're in a flashback or in present time. And this movie starts at the end. Starts at the last scene in the movie is where the beginning begins. So that is very confusing as well. This whole movie is just very hard to follow. It's just such a bad movie. I really didn't like this movie at all. I felt like I was watching a bad soap opera. That's how bad this movie was. This whole movie was just so bad. It's demeaning to men and women, both genders. It is just a terrible movie. No doubt about it. This movie gets an F. It will be on the worst list, probably towards the bottom of the worst list at the end of the year, as I expect that Mall Cop 2 and Terminator Genesis will be much higher when I end up seeing those movies, but this is definitely going to be on the list. Oh man, was this bad. And that's all I gotta say for The Loft. Don't see this movie.